Another one of our favourite leagues is returning. Welcome back everybody to the OddAlerts YouTube channel. That's right, the EFL Championship is back this weekend. Friday night football kicks it off with Birmingham City against Ipswich. That is a fantastic game to get it all going. And it's set to be some season with Birmingham, Wrexham and Charlton all being promoted last season. I want to know from you guys in the comments, can Birmingham and Wrexham realistically get promoted again? For Wrexham, it would be how many promotions in a row? Shows what you can do when you've got money and big backing behind you. Every comment is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro as well. And we're going to look at some of the tools like the football form guide, like the probability model, like the Betslip Generator. They're all going to feature in this video where we cover the opening weekend of the championship. Let's get going then, shall we? And before we take a look at the promotion odds, I just wanted to take a quick look at the teams that are going to be entering into this glorious competition. I think the EFL Championship really is one of the best leagues on the planet. It is certainly one of the most entertaining at times. And we can see top left, we have Birmingham City in there now, 111 points in League One, last season, record breaking. Absolutely superb. Can they realistically challenge again? As I mentioned in the intro, get your comments in. And then bottom right of the same graphic, we have Wrexham, AFC Wrexham. There's one thing that is for sure, the documentary will surely be entertaining in this promotion season, regardless of what happens. A few teams to look out for as well this season, not for the right reasons. Sheffield Wednesday, they are in serious trouble at the moment. Manager Danny Roll has now finally left after, to be fair to him, staying for as long as he physically could. They are in some serious trouble. Players are not being paid. Staff are not being paid. We've got Charlton as well, who have been promoted. They will just be looking to consolidate, you would feel. And a few other teams in there as well. Leicester City, as we'll see in the next section when we look at the promotion odds, not fancied by the bookmakers this season. So before we jump to the fixtures and make our predictions and look at the form guide and our probability model and everything else, we are going to look at this graphic. It is the odds for promotion. And as I said in the EFL League One preview last week, it is always good to look at this to get a gauge of confidence from the bookmakers. Now, they're not always right, of course, but they've done a lot of research into signings, pre-seasons, of course. They have their own models. So this, you can think of this as their expected league table. So Ipswich to win the league, Southampton to finish second, Sheffield United to finish third. Of course, they could be in any of those positions, but interestingly as well, same odds as Sheffield United is Birmingham City. Now, I've already asked for your comments, but if you've not commented yet, get them in. Can Birmingham City realistically go all the way and get to the Premier League? They have signed Kyogo, of course, who used to play for Celtic. Very good goal scorer. What will he be like at this level? He is pushing 30, I think, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Frank Lampard, of course, 4-1 to get promoted. They got close, didn't they, with the playoffs last season. Leicester City, 4-1. So this is, I think, the first time in a few seasons that the team coming down are not in that top three in terms of teams expected to bounce straight back. And at the other end of the spectrum, Charlton 25-1 to go up, so they are more likely to go down than they are to go up with the bookmakers. QPR 20s. QPR, I think, could surprise people. Charlton, I think, as well could surprise people. Blackburn isn't a bad option if you expect them to have another playoff push. They did fall away last season. And Sheffield Wednesday 40-1. They are not getting promoted, I can tell you that. And there is a very real fear with their fans that they will go down this season, and in some style as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they start the season and how they play, because it's been a disaster of a summer. Okay then, let's jump into the fixtures before we start making our predictions and checking out all the data via the form guide, some of which is now available here. So you can just don't have to look at me all the time. You can put your eyes down here and see some of the data that we're going to look at in the next few sections. So let's just take a look at the games. Birmingham City against Ipswich kicks it all off on Friday night. We won't include this in our slips, but my prediction there would be Birmingham to score. I think they will definitely score at home. It's going to be some atmosphere, their return to the Championship. And what a team to be facing, Ipswich. We then move on to Saturday, where we have 3 12:30 kickoffs, including Southampton, Wrexham. The computer is supposed to be random, isn't it? But what a set of fixtures it has created here. Charlton Athletic as well against Watford is a London derby. Coventry Hull is a nice game, I feel, for Frank Lampard and his men to get a victory on the opening day. Middlesbrough, big season for them. Carrick was sacked at the end of last season, wasn't he? So they will be expecting something from the new man in charge. They host Swansea. Again, it's a nice, comfortable game for them to potentially get 3 points on the board nice and early. West Brom, Blackburn screams draw to me for some reason. Stoke City against Derby. QPR Preston. Oxford Portsmouth, a potential relegation battle early doors. Norwich City against Millwall. Now, Norwich are a team to potentially look out for this season. They were the top scoring team other than Leeds last season. They had Jack Wilshere in charge, didn't they, for the last few games, or the last game, sorry. Sheffield United against Bristol City. Bristol City ended the season well. Sheffield United will hope to, again, be pushing for that second place and get back into the Premier League. They've lost their captain in the last week. He has gone to Qatar, I think, or Kuwait. And now we have Sunday, Leicester City against Sheffield Wednesday. We'll take a look at that game as well because there's some interesting data and the odds are very, very interesting. Let's move over now to the fixture feed so we can take a look at the probability model. Let's explore the probability model for the Championship's opening games this Saturday. We take a look here and we can see that the highest rated game in this selection is Norwich City against Millwall. Norwich, as I say, top scorers bar Leeds last season. They will want to get off to a good start, and I think that is a great game for them to do so, Norwich City. They've made some good signings this summer as well. BTTS, it is also the highest rated, but Middlesbrough against Swansea is not too far behind. Let's take a look at some of the other games, including Southampton against Wrexham. Over 1.5 goals, 79% rating. So that is the highest rated game in the Championship on Saturday for over 1.5 goals. Now let's take a look at over 2.5 goals. Now Southampton Wrexham, the odds are actually just under evens with some bookmakers. That represents value. That is a value bet that we have found. That's not bad, is it, for the first game of the season? 12:30 kickoff. Southampton against Wrexham. Wrexham away from home will be looking to put on a show, I feel. So we may have just found the base for our double. So let's go ahead and add that to our selection. That is our first selection. For the next one, we are going to take a look at the football form guide. This is a value bet that's going to provide the base of our selection. And now let's move to the football form guide. And all of the tools that I'm using, all of the pages that you see here, just go to oddalerts.com, link in the description, and you'll be able to find them. No trouble. So this is the football form guide, and I'm actually going to look at the last 15 games here to see who's coming into the season hot and who is coming in not. This doesn't include friendly games for obvious reasons. If you want to include friendly games, you can check out the fixtures and just look at their recent games and just see how they've been doing, who they've been playing. But there's so many variables in friendlies, so many changes and trialists playing as well when you get into the Championship and League One. So games won, no surprise here. Birmingham City, 11 wins. They are facing Ipswich, who have won just once in the last 15 games. Let's take a look at goals scored, and we can see Charlton are right up there. This is all Championship teams, so the promoted teams really coming into this season fantastically well. Now, of course, the Championship is much more difficult than League One, but you expect Birmingham and their players to adapt pretty quickly. Charlton at home, I expect them to score. And let's just jump back to Bet365 to see what the odds are in that game. So Charlton are 1.33 to score. Now, this is a quick plug for OddAlerts because what you can do is set an alert on Charlton to say, well, 1.33 is okay if you're making a double or a treble, but what about Charlton to score after 20, 30, 40 minutes when it's still 0-0, or if they've gone behind? You might get them at 1.6, 1.7 then. So it is always worth setting an alert on these games that you come across during your research. We will continue using the form guide because there are many, many markets to explore. Over 2.5 goals. We see that QPR, Bristol City, Preston North End, Ipswich Town, 10 of the last 15 games all ended with 3 or more goals. What about the other side of this coin? Teams to potentially avoid for this market. Hull City against Coventry. Now, Coventry, can they get a win on the opening day? Frank Lampard's team, they were superb, really, for the majority of his time there last season. Let's take a look at the price for them to get a victory. Coventry, it's another 12:30 game, 1.72. The bookies are favouring Coventry, as I am in my head, and this is a completely biased sort of decision from what I saw last season. Let's add it to the slip. Doesn't mean we're going to go with it, of course. We are going to trim the fat on this slip towards the end of the video. PNE, most yellow cards in the Championship last season. Gustavo Hamer with the most bookings, incidentally, on the ticker at the moment. We go from over 2.5 goals to teams with the most cards. Derby County. It said on the ticker before that they were flying into tackles, and that could be the same again. They are away from home at Stoke. The only thing I've seen of Stoke recently is when they played Liverpool in that friendly, and my word, they were terrible. I don't know if that was their first team or they had injuries or trialists or whatever, but that was an abysmal performance. Some of those Liverpool goals, the defenders were not even running. Portsmouth up there as well. So teams to get the most cards, this means they've had more cards than their opponents in 11 of the last 15 games. So Derby County certainly putting themselves about. Next up, we look at goals scored. So in terms of scoring a single goal, Portsmouth ended the season well. They avoided relegation, of course, 13 out of 15 games. Right up there with Birmingham, Sheffield United as well, Coventry. So Portsmouth away at Oxford, could they be an interesting bet to get a goal? Now in terms of XG as well, so the last 15 games we are looking at the XG4, and we can see 1.65 for Coventry, more than any other team in the Championship. So they are creating good chances for their forward players. Sheffield United not far behind, Wrexham, Birmingham, Middlesbrough. What about the other side of this coin? Southampton, of course, Leicester, of course, and Oxford, 0.82. So Portsmouth there, 1.35. I think I may have found our next selection. So here's what we've got so far, and we are going to trim this to create a treble or a double. Let's see what we have. So Southampton Wrexham is a value bet. Our probability model gives it, 1.73 odds, and of course we're getting 1.9 here. Shop around because there is evens being offered on some bookmakers. Always shop around. Home goal for Charlton, 1.33. I'm quite confident with that, and I do like the odds as well. Charlton, always, any promoted team coming up, they want to do so well on that first day. They don't always win, but they will, especially if they're at home, give it a very, very good go. Coventry, I'm not going to put them on for the full-time result. I think it is risky on the opening day of the season. Norwich to get a goal, 1.25 seems a bit low for me. So we're going to lead with this. Portsmouth to score on the opening day of the season. Charlton to score on the opening day of the season. And Wrexham Southampton to see over 2.5 goals. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Any comment automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro, which includes this next tool that we're going to use. So this is our selection. Now we are going to take a look at the machine's pick for this weekend. So we are going to be picking a treble with around about 3.39 odds. Let's see what we get. So we end with the Betslip Generator man versus machine, as you all love, and you can check this tool out in the comments. It is going to be absolutely fantastic for this season. We've been doing daily doubles with it on X, which has been profitable over the summer, even with the major leagues not being played. So 3.39 are our target odds, and we are on a treble. 1.2 to 2 is absolutely fine for the odds minimum and maximum. We could look to absolutely match this, so we can put this down to 1.9. All competitions is fine. We don't have to make this an EFL double. Let's go next 5 days as well. Let's see what it can do. Well, next 72 hours. No, let's go next 5 days. We're going to sort by probability. And there have been some new updates to this tool recently. The first is that you can now exclude cup matches and friendly matches, which I am going to do. The probability model, we are going to take away home wins, away wins. We're going to leave what we have on, basically. So we have team goals, and we will keep over 1.5 goals on as well. But for that, we will bump it up to 65%. And now we can hit get, and we will get some bet slips back. And look at that, bang on the target odds almost. We have games from Australia and Iceland, and now another feature that was heavily requested. And this is 39% value, by the way. Our probability model is giving this a rating of 41%, 2.36 implied odds, and the actual odds 3.38. So that is pretty great. Let's take a look at what else is on here. So this is a good example here for me to show you one of the new features. You might like this game. I have nothing against this game, Valor against Black, but it appears in the first 2 slips, and then it appears in this slip as well. It's a very good game because over 2.5 goals, 1.5, very high probability. So it's a value bet, of course. But let's say you've already got it on. You can now click this button and exclude it from your future slips, and it'll go away, generate the slip again without that game included anywhere. So you get a better mix of games, and you can see we're getting Scotland games here, and then Australia, Argentina, Mexico, Iceland again. So that is a new feature that people have been asking for now. For the selection that we are going to track, let's take a look at some of the times. We should maybe aim to get them all on the same time, or have one spread across the weekend. Let's take a look at this one, shall we? 3.38, it's bang on the money almost with the implied odds. As are a few of them. There's so many games being played that it's going to do well now to find your target odds and your leagues and anything that you add into there, whatever markets, because all of the leagues are coming back now. This tool really is going to come into its own, and feel free to add any suggestions in the comments and I will get it added to this tool. It's a very popular tool now. So I'm actually going to go with this one because it includes Saturday 3 p.m. game and then a Sunday game. So early doors Saturday 3 p.m. and then Sunday. So it's going to spread across the whole weekend, so we can hopefully track it and track its winning values across the weekend. So we're going to save this, not to the daily doubles, but to man versus machine. And that's done. It is saved. And you can see that it is tracked now. And another new feature on the Betslip Generator, you can check this out in the comments, is that if you run again and this same slip comes through again, unlikely given how many parameters and teams and odds there is, but if it comes through again, which it was doing for you know the pre-season where there's not many games, it will now say track again instead of track bet slips. So it's got a better understanding of your own bank rolls and bet slips and whatnot. So interestingly here, we have a value bet in the Championship that we've just found. Stoke City against Derby County. That one has come through from the Betslip Generator. So one to potentially add to your over 1.5 doubles or trebles this weekend. So they are the predictions for this weekend. Don't forget to add your comments, add your predictions, and I will see you in the next one.